On today's episode of the Luke Loses podcast, the return of old Luke, I talk about some of those nasty habits that I used to have that have been creeping their way back into my life. I hope you enjoy it. What's up, losers? I am Luke, and this is Luke Loses. Now, remember, we're losing the weight, we're losing the unhealthy lifestyle, and we're losing that negative image we have for ourselves. I have no fitness or nutrition education. Everything I talk about is from asking questions, searching the internet, and my own personal experiences. Check out my website. It is www.lukelosespodcast.com. That's got my social media as well as other platforms you can listen to this podcast. You can also call the loser line, which is 323-920-LUKE or 5853. You can leave me a voicemail there, leave me tips, topic ideas, concerns, whatever's on your mind, and I will try to address it on a future episode. Now that the business stuff is out of the way, let's jump right into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Luke Loses podcast. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. I appreciate every one of you. If you missed last week's episode, I had an awesome conversation with Leslie Lindsay Davis, and the episode is called Find Your Why. Check that out. There's so much good stuff in there, and actually she gave me a homework assignment, and I just realized that I haven't completed that. So after I'm done recording this episode, I'm going to jump on that. Sorry, Leslie. I know you're probably listening. I will get it to you this week. I promise. But as for this week's episode, I have titled it The Return of Old Luke. And before you roll your eyes and you're like, not another one of Luke failing, there's a little bit twist to this one. There is a lot of the mess ups and the nasty things that have come back. But there is some light at the end of this tunnel, right? So as for the old me returning, I'm going to start a couple weeks ago. I actually forgot my medication. I take high blood pressure medicine and I take anxiety medicine, right? I forgot to take it one day and that led into 2 days. And then before I knew it, it was like 3 weeks without taking my medication, right? So I felt off already. But on top of that, I let stress and emotion and anxiety get in the way of my food. And that led me to emotional eating. That led me into binge eating. All that overeating, it's been really nasty, right? So it wasn't an everyday thing, but for the most part, there would be days where I would wake up and say, today's the day, I'm going to push through, I'm going to do my best, and I would do really good. And then there were other days that it was just like, I'm going to eat 5 hot dogs. And I did. I also didn't count my calories like I wasn't putting it into the app that I use like I normally do. And finally, I jumped on the scale. The first time I got on the scale in a long time. And I have gained 20 pounds back. And it blew my mind. I felt there were days that I overate, but I didn't realize it was 20 pounds worth of bad days. And that crushed me. So I need to get my head in it. And my good friend Ryan, I did an interview with him a couple weeks ago, 18 Changes with Ryan Yarbrough. If you haven't heard that one, check it out. It was a great conversation. Well, he signed up for his first marathon, and that's really motivated me. Now, it hasn't motivated me enough to run a marathon, but one of my goals that I wrote down in the beginning of this was to run a 5K. And I'm going to do that. I was going to sign up for one on Halloween. It was like 7 weeks out, but I've never really ran. and I'm worried. So I know people say your first 5K, if you're just getting into it, it doesn't matter if you run it the whole thing. You can crawl across it, you can walk across it, you can run it. But I want to run a 5K. One of my biggest goals. My birthday is in February, so I am currently looking for a 5K in my area, well, driving distance, to try the 5K. And I downloaded an app, a Couch to 5K app that I'm going to work with to reach that goal. Another thing that I've done lately, I don't know how in detail I'm going to go into it right now, but I reached out to a coach. I got some information and I decided to work with him. And I've worked with an accountability coach before and it worked really good. So I figured, why not try it again? And the coach that I've got now, he's got me a food plan. He's got me a workout routine. He sends me motivational videos and I can contact him whenever I need him. He may not respond right away, but he does respond, and he's got something about him that gets my ass in gear. I actually started the meal plan 3 days ago, and I got on the scale today. So before those 3 days, I contacted him and I decided to work with him, and I started taking my eating seriously. So I've been eating clean and not overeating, not binging, not emotional eating for the past week. But I've been working on this meal plan for 3 days now. And I stepped on the scale this morning and I'm down 10 pounds since the last time I got on the scale, which was last Friday. So I'm heading in the right direction. And I wanted to do this episode to talk about how this is real. This is my journey. This is my struggle. And so many people go through this. But just because we mess up on our eating or we don't go to the gym like we want to, doesn't mean we're down and out. It gets difficult at times to stick with it or to get back to it. But we can go back there. And that's just what I'm thinking now. That's my positive mental attitude. Also, it might be that I've been taking my medication regularly, so my anxiety's not as crazy. My blood pressure's not skyrocketing. But at first, I wanted to beat myself up because I put on this weight. All this hard work. And I lost it. Well, now I know what I need to do. I need to jump back on it. I need to not worry that I gained 20 pounds. I need to realize that I'm still down 40. And now I'm down 50 and I've only gained 10 pounds back. But I'm trying to not think about the gaining back. I'm just looking at that loss number, the loser number. And I'm super excited to work with this coach. Like I said, I'm not going to announce it yet. I want to actually have him on and do an interview with him. But he's done it all in the fitness world. Bodybuilder, power lifter, pro wrestler. He's been in fitness magazines. He's done everything in fitness. And I've seen a lot of the people that he's worked with and what he can do for them. And real quick, one thing I want to say is what he's doing with my meal plan is he's having me eat food that's going to help my metabolism and my energy. I've given up the energy drinks. I've given up all that. And I had a black coffee today for the first time since I've started this, and that was good. But I feel like I don't need the energy drinks right now. I don't know, it might just be placebo effect, but I feel pretty good. I feel really confident, and I'm excited to push forward. But I do apologize to you that's listening, and I haven't mentioned the binge lately. I haven't talked about my screw-ups lately. It took me 3 weeks to talk about it. And I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Dave, from the Dumbing It Down with Dave podcast. I've talked about him other times before, and you probably remember the name. But he's a really good friend, and he sent me text messages checking in on me, asking how I'm doing. And one of the last messages he sent me was, "I'm here. You can talk to me. I feel like you might be in a bad spot. I'm right here. Let's have a conversation." And again, I just want to shout you out, Dave. I appreciate you. You're a good dude. So this, again, was another short episode, but I just wanted to say the returnable Luke came back, but he's not going to stay here. I'm kicking his ass out. Forget that guy, right? And yeah, also, I have some really awesome interviews coming up. I've got multiple lined up, ready to go. I think you're going to really enjoy them. There's some awesome people that I'm going to bring on and have amazing conversations with. So be on the lookout for those. If you enjoyed any of this episode, I would appreciate you to leave me a rating and a review and share the podcast. Share it with a friend. Share it with a family member. Somebody you feel could benefit from listening to it. Don't forget to go to the website, www.lukelosespodcast.com, or call the loser line, which is 323-920-LUKE or 5853. Leave me tips, topic ideas, concerns, whatever's on your mind, and I will try to address it on a future episode. The music that we're hearing right now is by Jake Simmons and the Little Ghost. Check them out. If you like this song, you'll love the rest. I will leave all their links in the description of this episode. So with that being said, that is that. As always, stay positive, do the work, trust the process, and I will see you next week.